Well, good morning everybody and welcome back. My name is Joel, that's Leia, and this is A Stable Life. It's so good to have you guys back with us. We're looking at an absolutely gorgeous and beautiful spring morning. Oh my word. Look at how nice everything's looking. We're here a little early because our grain delivery is coming and I need to get the tractor fired up and ready. I got to get the pallet forks put on the front and a bale on the back for my counterballast. And I left my hoodie here. A little bit on the cooler side this morning, so it'd be nice to be wearing this. Let's go get a pallet fork, Leia. I got them. There we go. We're ready, eh, Leia? I needed to get the pallet forks anyway today for getting that scrap metal, so we're good to get started now. I'm gonna get started getting the horses fed while we wait for the grain truck delivery to get here and enjoy the last of our beautiful, nice weather. Well, good news, guys. First off, we got our pallet load of grain. Come on, Leia. But it came right when it started showering for the morning, so I didn't really have the opportunity to film getting it off the truck. But don't worry, we'll film putting it in the feed bins. We also have all the grain measured out, so it's time to let the horses in. But before we do any of that, we're gonna get started feeding the donkeys. Oh yeah, let me just move this out of the way, put this over here. There we go. It was one of those showers that just shows up out of nowhere, completely soaks everything, and then just leaves. Just as quickly as it showed up. I guess just another telltale sign that it's spring, am I right? Let's see here. If I do this slowly, I don't think I'll lose my pitchfork. We'll go one wheel at a time. I know. I'm on my way, boys. I'm on my way. All right. I've been doing good with Rocky and Buster so far with that grain, am I right? Sorry about that, Buster. Don't worry, I've got some hay for you to help. Okay, there we go. And just like that, donkeys are taken care of. As you can see, they stood out in that shower, but that's okay. It's nice and warm today. How's our mares looking? Good? Wow. Feeders are just empty everywhere. What do you say, Bella? You ready to come on in for morning feeding? What about you, Sarah? What about you, honey? What about you, Diego? Isn't it crazy? All 4 new horses are right here. All the new horses right there. Oh, man. Let's get them in. You ready, honey? Now, you guys have seen in the past couple videos, when I'm leading the horses in, I always grab Bella, and then Sarah goes wandering. Today, we're gonna try something different. I'm gonna grab Sarah. Forgot to do honey's grain again. Ah, I'm sorry, honey. I'll be right back. Every single time I go to let them in is when I'm reminded I gotta wet honey's grain. So then I gotta run back in. Here we go. We'll do it super quick. Wendy's large. When in doubt, go for the Wendy's large. Fresh water. And in case you're a new viewer, or you just don't remember me talking about it, I wet Honey's feed because she's missing teeth, and she's 31 years old. So we need to make the grain a little easier for her to chew and process into her system. And wetting it does exactly the thing. Now we can let the horses in. Oh man, I got a lot of new horses I gotta grab. Oh, Diego got away from me. He's so quick. I'm gonna close Honey's door. Sounds like another rainstorm's happening. Hey, Diego. Hey, brother. You're all right. Come here. You're all right. Sorry, George. Don't mind us. Walk. It's okay. Here you are. You're good, champ. Yeah, you're okay, brother. You're all right. Come on in. There you go. Good boy. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Bella. Hey, Sarah. I'm gonna grab you. Shh. It's okay. Here we go. That's it. Come on, girl. Well, hello, Bella. Okay. Come on in. There you go, girl. Ah, see? Now that worked very good. Okay. Good girls. Well, that's it for the middle field. Now we can let in the big field. Look at all these gorgeous horses just ready to come on in today. I love it. Excuse me, Suede. There we go. Here you are, Danny. Very good. Sriracha. Very good. Spitfire. Very good. Skywalker. Very good. Declan. Very good. Tucker. Very good. Poncho. Very good. I'm going to close the gate. You may have noticed I'm not letting all of them in. As of lately, Tucker has been going into other stalls and eating their food. So I just want to make sure Tucker's going into his stall correctly. Very good. With us having so many horses and some of them being new, sometimes it's better to feather it than letting them all in at once, especially when a couple of them are acting a little bit rebellious, like Tucker and Argento. All right, Poe, you're next. I'm gonna open it up all the way now because the rest of these horses are really good. And I can grab RJ. There you go. Poe, Gavin, Archer, Obi, Samson, Argento. What's up, beautiful? Yeah, come on. There you go. You know, I looked at the weather report this morning because they were calling for rain. 0% chance the entire day. Come on, weather people. All right, well, good news is all the horses are in. Bad news is it's raining and I gotta go put hay out. So I'm gonna wait until this shower stops and then we'll get the hay out. So they just changed the forecast. You guys wanna see what we got going on? I love they have the ability to change the forecast as it's actually happening. So basically it's gonna rain the entire morning. So looks like I don't got a choice. We're just gonna go out in it. Hopefully it'll be this light misty stuff where it's just, it's raining, but it's not raining. Ah, whatever. Let's get the hay rolling. Grain's dry, but my butt's gonna be wet, that's for sure. Grab the other. You guys will remember this one. This is one of those new feeders that I put in over here. Now you might be wondering, why am I moving these feeders? Well, you remember a couple of videos ago I mentioned that my mom and I were down here talking shop and about some projects that we've got coming up. This is the footwork for that. Training the horses about going to a different place for food. And we also talked about our water management and our plans with that. Not to mention, we also talked about some hay storage. All of this I'll break down in greater detail as we start these projects, but right now what we need to work on is getting these feeders moved, because we got the mares getting turned out today and we want to make sure that the mares have a lot of space for food. So we're moving the feeders a little bit further apart so that the horses can eat at different places in the pasture. We also got to make sure that we keep the pastures clean. Remember, we want those horses to be healthy. We don't want them to have any of those hoof issues. And that also means that we got to continue to clean up the scrap. So we got a lot of things we got to work on right now. Today, the main plan was scrap, but because of the rain and status of the mud in the pasture, I think instead we're going to work on cleaning up the field. Time will tell, though, for sure. Definitely pretty over here. Go get some more round bales, huh? So all I've done is drive into the middle field. I dropped one of the bales that were on the back spike off. See how much darker it's got? I'm scared. It was so nice out this morning and it's so dark now. Oh my goodness. Good news, guys, it's raining again. Woo! Yay! Come on now. Off you go. There you are. Oh, this is a straight downpour. I think we'll wait in here for a little bit. I don't want to be soaking wet all day. I've done that enough this year. Well, the good news for you guys is it'll be the snap of a finger, but I'm gonna hang 10. Good news, guys. I think the craziness is over. Let's roll! Well, guys, we have all the horses turned out, and check this out. the mares are now in the big field. If you look over here, you can see we've got 2 groups of horses down at those new feeders. 1 group of horses over at the built-in feeder, which means the horses are now spread out. There's a nice wide array going on down there, which means that when we have mares in the pasture, there's gonna be a lot less contention when it comes to eating hay out of the feeders, which is what we want. The horses to feel that they have space. This way there will be no fighting, and this way the mares will be able to also get that nutrition that they need, that food that they need. So this is the largest herd that they're gonna be in. This is the final arrangement, which is really cool to think about. Honey's down there. She's already eating grass, chilling down there with the cows, which is pretty cool. So we'll check back in a little bit, and until then, we'll be watching them remotely through the security system. Well guys, fast forward a little bit of time, and all that rain is now gone. Was gonna be getting some scrap metal, as you guys saw in the previous video, but things changed. Gonna be working on actually cleaning up the pastures. Again, I know. We've just been getting so much mud and so much rain. I'm trying to keep these feeders nice and clean. We don't have any hoof issues in our stable. We're doing hoof care weekly, but a big part of that is how the horses are getting their food. So we gotta make sure we keep those feeders nice and clean. Now we have a next door neighbor that was super generous and allowed me to borrow their rear blade that they use. They were super kind, helped me hook it up and everything like that. I've been thinking that this is something that I need for cleaning up the pastures, but I wasn't sure. And what better way than kind of testing it out. So if this works out, then this is definitely gonna have to be an investment that I need to make. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this guy works out. And of course, when you're borrowing equipment, you gotta be gentle with it, gotta be nice with it. And we gotta make sure we clean it off good when we give it back to him. He knows what it's being used for though, so no worries there. Well guys, I think it's safe to say that the grading blade is working great. It's not digging in at all, just pulling that loose manure right off the surface. That's exactly what we want. You know, 24 horses, you get a lot of manure. I'm gonna scoop all this up, and then that's it for the middle field. All ready. Craziness. All right guys, so this is how things are looking right now. Obviously not happy with this at all. Or the reason why is when you have all these large animals, this is how it's gonna look. And you get rain upon rain upon rain. Well, if we were to go back through the years, this is normal. This is just part of spring. If you're a new viewer, this may be kind of like, whoa, but don't worry. This is how things look before I'm touching it. That's also why we moved the feeders down there. Now, granted, we don't like doing that because that just moves the mud. That was originally what we did, is we would move the feeders around, but then the entire pasture looked like this. We don't like that. But the reason why we moved the feeders down there is because that's actually where the next full structured feeder is going, is right there. And we're planning it according to where the water runs. Right there, it's very shaly, which means that the ground drains fast and there's not a lot of topsoil, which is perfect. That's right where we want it, no mud. Now that grading blade, I think, is really gonna come in handy for this. So let's see how this looks once we're done with it. Well, this is kind of crazy. We're walking on dry ground. Well, fast forward some time and we've got the big field cleaned up. So my impressions of using the rear blade are that I need one. Oh man, that made that so nice. It just cut right through the mud and it brought us right down to dry ground. I mean, it was just, when I left there, the ground was saturated, but I could stand without sinking into the ground at all. And that means that for the horses, that they're not going to be standing in any mud as well. So that's awesome. That is literally awesome. Would not have happened if I didn't have the rear blade. I would have gotten it better, but not the way I wanted it. So I am very happy with that, and I am so thankful to our neighbor for letting me borrow that. Now, taking a look over at our horses, we've got Bella, Sarah, Diego, and Honey, all just chilling right up here near the barn. And then way out there, we've got both feeders that we moved being used. And I don't know if you could see, but there's a bunch of horses at the enclosed feeder. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 horses at the enclosed feeder. They all left while I was cleaning, and then once I was done, they all came back. It is now time for afternoon feeding. It's a little bit past, it's 3:30, so we've got afternoon feeding to do. We have got to clean the tractor because it is just covered in mud. We also got to make sure we clean up that rear blade real nice and get that back to the neighbor. He didn't insist that I had it back today, but I was so thankful for him letting me borrow it that I'd rather get it back to him on good terms. And then of course we've got all that grain we got to put in yet. So there's plenty left to do. And it all starts with getting grain measured out. What gives? That usually works. I don't know. Is Poe there? Tucker? Oh. The whole stable's full. I guess it worked a little too well. Not only did it get the grain done, but we got all the horses in too. Man, good stuff. All right, well, while they're in, Honey's looking good, Sarah's looking good, and Bella's looking good. Looks like they enjoyed their time out in the field, that's for sure. Awesome, 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 awesome. So, that means that it looks like the mares are now being turned out during the day. Subject to change, of course. If something negative happens, then we'll readjust, but that's awesome, and things are looking good. It's kind of weird seeing the feeders over there. I'll get used to it in time, though, I'm sure. Right, Buster? Right, Rocky? They're fed already. They're done. Man, good stuff. All right, well, then we'll just wait for these guys to finish eating, get them right back on out, and then we can get started cleaning off the tractor. Well, I'm just about to let the horses out. We got the tractor over here. Figured this would be a good place to wash it off. And then look who's here washing things off. Pete, the mad pressure. The pressure washer would be far better to use right now, but I have to get a better spray gun for it because there's something that happened, I guess, over the winter. So it's not stopping flow, which means that you can't build pressure in the system when you can't stop flow. So that means Pete's using the old-fashioned garden hose. Oh yeah. To be clear, I asked Pete to do this and he very nicely said yes. So thank you very much, Pete. I appreciate you doing this. Oh yeah, it's about to go. Any second now. Nice. While Pete's taking care of this, we're gonna get the horses turned out and then we'll head on over here and help them out. And just like that, all the horses are turned out. Look at them all. Just everywhere, it's amazing. I guess there would be horses everywhere when you got 24 of them. And giant, giant piles of manure. Speaking of, Pete is doing a great job. Look at him. Ah, my eye. He got me right when I walked over. Oh, look at this, he washed, look at that. Wow. Schnazzy. All you have to do is pull on the hose and then just hold on to it and it'll, oddly enough, you have to have the nozzle open and it'll reel. If you have it closed, it won't reel well. Good job, Pete. Well done.
Thank you, Joe.
We took the grading blade back and dropped it off. Got the bale spike hooked back up. Now the last thing that we have to do for today is get this pallet of feed unloaded. And I think I got Pete here to help me too. So Petey and I are gonna work on unloading this, and through the power of editing, you guys are gonna see this go by nice and fast. I got a rock in my boot.
There's a snake in my boot.
guys, that was the last thing we need to do.
Woohoo!
There's the energy we need, Pete. All right, guys, I'm gonna go park the tractor and put away that pallet. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't,
Make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe.
and as always, we'll see you in the next one.